Guys, oh my gosh, you are in for a special treat because I have one of the speakers for the next Do the Thing event that's in San Diego, the $1 billion Impact event.
Yes,
And
it
I
is.
met John at UCLA and heard him talk, and I like literally could not wait to like tell him that like beg him to come and speak at this event because he is like literally the perfect person to kind of like blend all the speakers together to like help people understand how powerful it is when we get to connect people and create community and connection around it. So hi John, welcome.
Hi, Stacey. I take issue with one thing you said. There was no begging. You said, "Do you want to come to my?" Yes, that's about how the conversation went.
That's
So
true. That's true. Well, I was begging you in my mind.
I didn't offer up the resistance that you had created in your mind. But next time, we'll see. I'm terrible at playing hard to get professionally. I really am.
All right, tell everybody like who you are, what you do, and then tell them about your talk because your talk is like so unique and like so different, and it brings just like a whole new level of like humanity. Like being able to actually like get people to like talk to each other, people from like opposite sides of the fence, even
Wow.
like communicating in like a fun kind of like conversational way.
Well, thank you for teeing it up that way. My name's John Augustine. I work for a firm called Decker Communications. I'm a communications coach and consultant, and I do a lot of executive coaching as well. Beneath that, I'm a musician, and I just can't shake that. And I am a connector and believer in people. As I travel the earth, these 10 decades plus, I'm guided by this fundamental truth that I can't shake, which is most of what separates people is misunderstanding. And I believe it in an individual level. I believe it all the way up to a national level that we are missing each other. There's just so much misunderstanding, and there are solutions for this. And as I do the work that I've done, I realized that, frankly, I wanted to speak more. I wanted the message to get out a little bit more and to reach more people because I kept the idea kept chasing me. You and I talked about this, Stacey, where it's like, you're on to something when you can't shake it anymore, and it just keeps showing up. And what kept showing up for me was how music is integral in communicating. And I'm the son of a jazz musician. My dad was a jazz pianist. He passed away a little over 3 years ago. He was an educator. He's a composer. He was a beloved teacher. And I learned so much from him, and it's so much part of who I am. Two of my three grown children studied music in college. And the joke that I always connect to that is we all inherited the ability to be very difficult to employ because we're musicians. And but everything I do when I'm coaching, when I'm leading training sessions, it always keeps coming back to music, phrasing and connecting and tone and intention. And so what I talk about is how music shows us to deal with difference, to deal with dissonance, because we are being conditioned out of our ability to sit with things that are uncomfortable. And you know this, we see it all the time. I hear complained about all the time how algorithms exist to feed us what we want to hear. And it's just putting us further and further apart from anything that's different, any opposing point of view. It doesn't have to be politics. Often it is politics. But in personal life, what I find is that when opposing points of view show up to us, whether it's our feed or just in our minds, we have a huge emotional reaction against it. We want to throw that idea or that person in another camp far over there. They're crazy, they're idiotic. And in music, I call that's volume up. That's just two notes rubbing against each other like dang, dang, and it sounds terrible like a car horn, and we want it to go away, we want it to stop. So we're being conditioned away from sitting with that discomfort.
Mm.
And what music teaches us, and this is what I talk about and I show in my talk, I use the piano, we do a lot of playfulness, a lot of engagement, is actually that dissonance, if you turn it down, if the first thing you do is just turn it down, then you start to experience that dissonance, that disagreement, that discord in a whole different way. And instead of going, oh my God, something is wrong, that's a different opinion, someone's crazy, you actually start to hear, wait a minute, maybe there's some promise here. Maybe maybe these opposing ideas rubbing up against each other actually represent being human. Maybe that they represent what the future could look like. And it's so much fun, Stacey, you saw it, to take musical ideas and show how for hundreds of years, musicians have taken dissonance and discord and disagreement, and they've turned it into beautiful things. And honestly, the work that I do, when I see someone, even if it's just an individual who learns to convey an idea in a new way and connect with someone, it sounds like music to me. It's like, there it is. There it is. You showed up to something with a different idea that other people might have been opposed to, and suddenly now you're making something beautiful out of it. There's so much there. I could go on forever, Stacey. That I've talked long enough about it.
Yeah, no, it's so exciting to me because it's a whole nother way to help people connect together, and that's like my mission in life, is helping people like understand our differences. I mean, I talk about so my TEDx talk is the power of community to help you achieve your goals, and I talk about this concept of my people, which is different than your friends and your family and like your regular support network. And then I like, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say something really important. We were talking about.
It'll come.
Yeah, it's going to come. It's going to come.
Different people connecting folks of different opinions.
Oh, right. Thank you. Yes. And so then I talk about, I knew I was going to get there. Breakfast Club, the movie Breakfast Club, right?
Yes.
And like,
yes.
How do you create Breakfast Club in every culture and every community, right?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to get them to connect together and to be able to open up and share their differences. And that was such a beautiful example of a movie that blends both of what we're talking about, right?
Yeah,
and being
absolutely.
able to like understand our differences, you know?
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, it's such a good visual, and I'm just hearing Simple Minds, don't you forget about me, like that song's in my head now. But what really concerns me about our current situation is, and I quoted this in my speech at UCLA where you and I met, where Susan David, who's a very famous psychotherapist out of South Africa, she said that discomfort is the price of admission for a meaningful life. And what's happening is, because we are uncomfortable with differences, because to use the Breakfast Club example, the jock and the freak, as they call it in the movie, like they're uncomfortable with each other, and they deal with that by either fight, flight, or freeze. The jock kind of fought, the freak would freeze and get internal. And the problem is that it is robbing us of meaning. It's robbing us of a meaningful life. And of greater concern to me is that we are preparing for a future that is not going to exist. I mean, if we're going to exist, we've got to be diverse. There's no way around this. We have to embrace not only other ideas, but people from different cultures, different languages, different religions, different perspectives. And music is great for this too. That's another point I make, is just turning it upside down. When you take two notes that sound like they don't belong to each other, and you take this one and you put it down here, in music we call that voicing, and it's a totally different sound. And between people, what that looks like is context and understanding. Like, okay, I know that our opinions are like this right now, but instead of yelling back at you or freezing or fleeing, I'm going to ask, what experiences have you had that make you so passionate about this? And that's taking that note and going, oh, okay, can we get beneath the surface here and talk about what you're afraid of? What do you need? Like, why are you so passionate about this? And those conversations are becoming increasingly just less often happening. They're diminishing. And that's what I love about what you're doing too, is being very deliberate. Let's bring together entities that normally don't do business together, and let's find what's beneath that we all do agree on. How can we, and people, there's a lot that we do agree on. Don't you find that people actually agree on a lot more?
Oh, I this is my life, because like one of the things I did when I was dissecting that formula that helps people take action, and where the community kind of activation was like created from, and sorry, there's like sun in my face.
It's got this nice halo effect, Stacey. You're properly engulfed in this energy field that we all know is you.
I'm like too lazy to go like move onto another spot. But anyway.
That's not lazy, that's practical.
Okay, we'll try that. But anyway, so oh my God. It's so funny. It's gonna come. You said what? Tell me what you said again.
Well, you were talking about the framework that you developed around bringing bringing, even in a business situation, bringing folks that
Yeah.
otherwise wouldn't be connecting or agreeing. And I said, don't you
Yeah.
find that people more agree
Oh,
on a
thank
lot of
you.
things?
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Yes.
so much. We're really good. This is great. Yeah, so I traveled the world. My daughter and I actually went to like Italy, London, New York, Paris, like all these different places. And I did street interviews and I interviewed people. And I was like, oh my gosh, like no matter who they are, no matter what language they speak, we're all wanting the same thing. We all have goals, we all have dreams, we all have struggles,
Thousand
we all
times,
have
yes.
excuses.
Yes.
And even running the challenges and getting to run these, communities, because now I'm running engagement in a lot of different communities, all over the world. And like it's the same, right? And how do you get people to talk to each other? And that's kind of what my mission is too. So I'm excited to like blend our like skill
Yes.
sets and see what that might do, because that's really
Absolutely.
exciting to me. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's, I love, and this talk we're having right now is the embodiment of the third point I make in my keynote speech, which is play.
Yeah.
We got to play. We got to play. Like, it's not about perfection. It's about connection. With music, the fundamental verb for music is play. You play music. And a lot of what's wrong with interpersonal relationships, a lot of what's wrong with company culture, a lot of what's wrong with political discourse is there is no play. There's no sense of humor. It's so serious. And we're so busy defending our objectives or our opinions or our point of view that we've lost the playfulness when you look across a table and see a human being.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite moments at UCLA, Stacey, you were part of it, and you and Roxana, who you were sitting next to, God, you were so helpful because I was worried. I was taking a risk. I was like, okay, I'm going to end this thing by asking people to sing with me. Like, can we be playful here? And I don't know if you remember, I said, I'm trying to get a sense, is this a Elton John crowd or is this a Prince crowd? And Elton John, I was like, yeah. And then I said Prince, and he was, yes. So we sang Purple Rain together. And I jumped off out of my seat and I did this little like twinkle toes twirl because I was so excited that this room of people in an academic institution were singing along with me, which didn't seem like it was appropriate for the environment. And my whole point with that is when you're playing, all differences melt away. And you're just experiencing humanity the way we're supposed to experience it, which is together, not perfectly in line with every thought. We're not looking for uniformity, but we're together. And so that's what I love about even just the spirit that you embody in this talk. Like you're like,
Yeah.
hey, should we do a live stream? Sure, let's play with it. Let's like, what could go wrong? Oh, a lot could go wrong. A lot. But even in that, good things are going to come out of it because it's playful. It's playful. And that's what the world needs so much more of that. And that's, music has taught me that. And I've talked for a little while. I promise you I'll put a button on this.
So good.
Even as a parent, I'm a parent of 3 adult children, 2 boys and a girl, 28, 25, and 23. And when I look back on my parenting, especially those when they were learning music, I regret being too pedantic and teacher-like. I wish I was more playful. Because my dad was that way with me. He moved from he was a teacher, and I never took lessons from him formally. But as a piano player, I learned so much just playing with him, just playing. Way more than I would have if I'd sat down as a student and gone and done the assignment, all this stuff. And some of the best moments in my life were just playing with my dad, playing with my kids. And I guarantee you, they learned so much more about being musicians by just playing.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So good.
You
So I'm like so excited about this. And just so you guys know, John's going to be bringing his piano and doing this whole amazing, and it's so
If
good.
you'll let me, I'm bringing the piano.
It's
Yes.
going to be blown. Yeah. And then can we share like the offer that we're going to do the auction? So we were talking, since he's a speaker at the event, I was like, oh, by the way, I could sell your offer at the auction, and it would be part of the split funding model that we're doing, which is part of the $1 billion impact marketplace. And we were talking about auctioning off his keynote at the auction, and I'm so excited about that because like there's going to be like companies and CEOs and and different people in the room, and just getting to see again, it's playing. We don't know how it's going to go. Like, right. Like if it's the right room, it's the right people, whatever. But like, I loved your talk, and I'm really excited about that. And I think a lot of people, they don't think about their offer as their talk. And I think that's really powerful because yes, that could be your offer. And my point is we're doing the Get Your Offer into Momentum challenge. We just started today. So for people that are in that challenge, maybe if you don't have an offer, have your talk be your offer.
I love it. And Stacey,
Yeah.
just to prove to anyone that, we're walking the walk, as it were. I so don't have my stuff together. My website's not even functional. Like you could try to find, the only way you could find me is through Facebook or Instagram, and we talk and we could email like the olden days. Like, I mean, I'm embarrassed at how unbaked my whole operation is, but I don't care because what matters is the playfulness and is the message itself, is the experience, is the connection. And I mean, that's just a moment of vulnerable honesty. Like I would rather have come to this moment fully baked and like, just go to this site and here's my, you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Well, that's my whole thing. I'll have to send you a video after, but that's this whole thing. It's all about like the launch, right? It's like, how do we get ourselves to launch quicker? Because you know what, John, the person that needs your message, and maybe that CEO or that person that's like whoever that person is that's struggling inside, like your talk transforms people from the inside. And like they don't care that your website's not done. They don't care that like it's not this perfect polish, right? It's like you're just showing up as yourself. And so that's what I'm excited about. It's like so powerful, like to be able to like be able to have the message without needing all the stuff, So but bring the piano though. I'm just kidding.
I will bring. I'll tell you, the things that have held me back in the past are a lack of technical prowess, and or a lack of having the technical aspect not being fully done. And it's like, and I even learned that as a musician a long time ago, that there are certain situations where I have to go, hey, look, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that, but here's what I do. Here's what I'm good at. And that's another lesson I learned from music, is that you can't force your way into connection. You can't bring, you're never going to be perfect. But what matters when you're playing with other musicians is you've got to be competent. You can't just show up and just expect to, everyone to just get along. You got to be good, but it's more about listening, connecting, and doing what matters in that moment. And it's not about shining as this perfectly, shown musician or perfectly prepared musician. So yeah, you're in real time. You're helping me write a second keynote right now, because these are points that I didn't make last time.
So good. Oh my gosh. Wait till after the event. All the things are going to come up. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so excited. So for those of you that are coming to San Diego in January, you're going to get to meet John. And so cannot wait. And he is like such a nice, like human, like good human. That's what you want, is you want to be in a room with really good humans, people that are doing really good things. And that is what you are. That's what I'm so excited about.
Stacey, that means so much. Thank you.
Yay. All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. I'm going to say goodbye to them first. And then
all right.
Don't wait for opportunity. Create it.
We'll get it.
Bye, everyone.